Hello, Quist Middle School parents, students, community. This is Mr. McMillan here to welcome you back to the best year yet for the Royals. I'll be going over policy, just procedures coming back to school, and just good things for parents to know as your scholar either continues in the middle school world or joins us here at Quist Middle School. So my big belief is that no learning happens without great relationships. So I'm hoping to get to know each and every one of you, both parents and students throughout the year, along with getting to know all of our awesome staff. Last week we started, great start to the year, and we're going to keep that trajectory moving. It's so important as we think about how we create this amazing community. We have to start with relationships. We have to learn the whole story. It's really hard to be mean to somebody or bullying happens when you don't know the whole story of what makes that person unique and wonderful. So our scholars will engage every day in our classrooms, learning each other's stories. The same thing, obviously, as staff learning parents' stories, parents learning staff stories, so that we can build that trust and rapport that will take our scholars learning to the next level. So a little bit about me. Grew up in Hotchkiss, Colorado, grew up on a ranch, Simmental cows, worked in the coal mines. I was in the Air Force, went to the Air Force Academy, played football there and boxed, and strong family upbringing. I have two amazing sisters and a brother. Love being outdoors, hunting, fishing. You can see all that goodness, but tonight's not about me, but I hope to share my story with you, just like I want to learn your story as well, including I am actually a Quist parent as well. My son is a sixth grader, and my daughter is over at Eagle Ridge. So two amazing kids. School supplies, bring those on the 10th. You're going to take those to your first period class. Your first period teacher will be sharing for those shared school supplies, where you put those, etc. Schedules, we sent those out today, the 8th, but also we'll have hard copies for sixth graders on the 9th. So you'll be able to get that in case you weren't able to access Infinite Campus. And on the 10th for 7th and 8th graders. The goal with schedule changes, you'll have that first week and through the next Friday to connect with your counselor, talk about any reasons why you might want to shift that, knowing that there needs to be a really, 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 really good reason to make any shifts. And even then, it might not be possible, but we'll at least hear you out. Parking, make sure when you come in every day, hug and go lane, go all the way forward as far as you can. Don't stop short, because when you stop short, it's that domino effect. So you stop short, then it backs up everybody going forward. So pull all the way through, so that we can fit about 10 to 12 cars. Also, make sure you stay away from the bus lane. That's for buses only. A lot of students walking in and out of there. We need to make sure that is free and most importantly, safe. When you come in from 136, you can see those blue lines and also red lines. Those were sent out in the newsletter. So just please take a look at those. Call the office if you have any questions of where you drop off your scholar, and also where you pick up your scholar. And be patient. There can be a lot of traffic in there. Be patient. We'll make sure everybody gets home safely. Schedules, little shift from last year to this year is that instead of starting with pathways, you will start with your first period class. You can see the different breakdown, but it's super important to be to school on time. Students can be dropped off at 8:15, and you're going to be going to your first period class. So that's why it's super important. Pathways is absolutely important. But if you have a math class or exploratory class or ELA or social studies, we need you here on time. And that's also posted in the newsletter. Early pickup procedures, make sure you have your ID ready. This helps to ensure safety. Office staff will call your student out. Please be patient. Students need time to pack up and walk all the way down to the office. High traffic times, be patient if there's a line. And also pick up, please plan to pick up your scholar prior to 4:15, because after 4:15 at the end of the day, it gets super busy, and it adds one more thing onto the office team's plate. So we're gonna be very firm with that 4:15. If you get there after 4:15, more than likely you won't get out of there until 4:37. So I apologize for that. but that is a super busy time of the day. Now, preferably have your scholar picked up at 4:37, no early pickups whatsoever, because attendance is important. Lunch policy, we won't be accepting lunches in the office for this year. This includes bringing in Uber or Chick-fil-A or other different fun places for scholars, but bringing a sack lunch at the start of the day. And then we have free lunch and breakfast this year. So if you drop off any lunches at the office, we'll keep it there, but we're not calling up the classrooms, and we're definitely not delivering them to the cafeteria. So please help us out with that so the office can stay functioning on the key things that they should be focusing on. And then that pickup at 4:15. Please, please, please. Cell phones. That's one thing that you might be wondering or worrying about. It was a no cell phone policy last year across the district. The entire district is moving towards no cell phones, including we're going to have no cell phones during lunch. The academic impact really is just huge for no cell phones, and that includes from bell to bell at 8:35 till 4:37. Our scholars will not be using their phones. I'll do an announcement every single day. I'll say, this is your opportunity. Take your phones out of your pocket, turn them off. If you forgot, take them out your locker. That's where they stay, and they stay there all day long, in case they forgot. And so they have that opportunity. Everybody will be warned. That 6.4% increase in academic achievement, that is huge. Kids get worrying about text or social media throughout the day. That's a drop in 10.6%. So we're here for learning. That's our number one goal. But even more importantly, when you think about safety, so the emotional impact of cell phones on students, more depression, more worrying about what's going on in the world. Actually, and for safety reasons, it's actually more important to call the office rather than using cell phones. And I shared some information from as far as like the safety aspect. So academic reasons, social emotional health of our scholars, along with safety reasons, it's actually safer not to have cell phones in the pockets of scholars. So if you have any questions, I'd love to hear about them, but we are, as a whole district, being very firm with that expectation. In the end, and I've used it at Casey Middle School, also at Weld Central Middle School, works really, really well. Initially, the students miss their friend, which is their phone, but they'll quickly get over it. During lunchtime, learn to interact with each other in meaningful ways, rather than just staring at a screen all day. So no cell phones, 8:35 to 4:37. I'll make that announcement. Everybody will be reminded. That away for a day research, I posted on Facebook, but also it's in the newsletter if you want to dig into that more. And the expectations are, the announcement goes on. After that, parents will have to come get the phone if they're not hearing that. If they decide I'm not listening to the announcements, I'm going to keep my phone on me, they then use it in class. The phone will go down to the office. The staff member who took the phone will then email you, and sometime during the day or right after school, you'll need to swing by the school and just pick up your property. So thank you in advance for your support on that, as we both want the same thing with the student safety, social emotional well-being, and academic learning. Social media, I'm sure you've seen, I have TikTok pages and Twitter and Instagram, but it's super important from an adolescent standpoint is just make sure you know what your scholars are doing on social media, connect with them, have them show you certain things. It doesn't mean that they're necessarily doing anything bad, but just being aware, trust but verify what's going on in the social media world, because I've seen a lot of things come through my office over the past 17 years that I've been principal that are some not so good things on how social media is being used. Dress code policy, you can see that it's tried to make it a little bit simpler. We took the 27J dress code. Essentially, they're scholars destined for greatness. We want every door open to them. We dress for success. But at a minimum, you're covering private areas. Hats and hoods can be worn in common areas. It's up to the teacher on whether they're allowed in class or not. So if a teacher asks a student to take off their hat or their hood, the expectation is that they do that. Wireless earbuds, that's district-wide expectation. So if you could buy the wired earbuds so that it can be used for the Chromebooks and that would be awesome. And then, of course, no clothing that supports alcohol, drugs, etc., gang-related activity. And then there are a couple classes, including PE, that will require some athletic shoes. Welcome those conversations. We're going to be creating a leadership group of students, having conversations about dress code and other things that they find most important, and hearing what they think about things. Attendance, every minute counts. Like I mentioned earlier, if you bring your scholar late to school or you pick them up early, that time adds up into huge amounts of time that they're losing over the course of the year. So as much as possible, I know some things can't be avoided, including my kids. My daughter's in club volleyball, and occasionally we take trips and other kinds of things like that to support that club volleyball as an example. But we do need kids in classes as much as possible, because that's where the learning happens. So thank you in advance for your support in that. Lockers, they will be getting lockers this year. So lockers will be provided for each student. Students are discouraged from sharing their locker combination. The locker itself belongs to the school. So just a reminder on that. If some scholars think, well, I can put it in there and it's safe, right? It can't be searched. Reasonable search, we can look through certain things. We want students using their lockers right before school, right before lunch, right after lunch, and then right after school. The rest of the time, really, we want grab what you need, get to class. You shouldn't be going back and forth, because the passing period is not that long. You don't have time to go to your locker for every single passing period. And keep it clean. Keep the food out of there. It starts to rot over time. So please help us keep your lockers clean. Backpack management, parents love your support on this. Backpacks start to look like the picture right there, where sometimes they need a little help with organization. So once a week, pull everything out, throw away things that you don't need, reorganize, maybe have a folder of to do and completed, so that they can kind of organize that. Having a folder for each of your classes is also a good thing. And even within those, a to do and a completed folder to be super organized. Grade monitoring. If you're not able to get into Infinite Campus, parents, please stop by the office. Miss Doreen, who's our office registrar, can show you how to do that. Once a week at least, go into your school's the IC, check all grades, look for missing assignments. When in doubt, email the teachers, get clarification. We want open and ongoing communication from parents to teachers and teachers to parents. So, but get on the IC. If you're like, I don't want to have a separate login, your scholars will be checking IC on a regular basis. Ask them to sit down, have them log into Infinite Campus and show those grades, and they will be able to do that. So if they say they can't do that, they are not telling you the whole truth. So they can show you. A sacred space at home is always good. You should be having some homework most nights. If we're going to be getting a great program called Lexia Power Up, which helps students from all ranges of literacy levels all the way up through end of 8th grade. If your scholar is above 8th grade level as far as literacy, they're going to quickly cap out of Power Up, which is great. That's what we want. We want all 100% of our scholars, which means rise to the crown, ready for high school, ready to have every door open to them. And literacy is one of those things that if they're not on grade level, it starts to close doors. So we want to take full effort into making sure that it adjusts right off the bat. So having that sacred space, sit down, review your notes, study. If you don't have any other homework, if you don't have math homework, which you probably should have, review. Math, we have Dreambox, which also goes through end of 8th grade level. We want 100% of our scholars on grade level. Chromebook checkout, 6th grade. Students will get their Chromebooks in pathways. And instead of the 15th, it will actually be on the 11th. The goal is when you get them on the 11th, take them home and charge them. Don't open up, don't try to log them in. We just want the students to take them home, literally just plug it in so that we have a fully charged Chromebook. Bring those on the 15th so that they can be ready to go. The teachers will be going on proper use of that Chromebook, how to take care of it, and so on and so forth. 7th and 8th graders, your first day is on that 10th. If you have broken or damaged Chromebooks, bring those on those days, because we're going to have you turn those into the library where they can be turned in to get fixed. If you don't have a broken or damaged Chromebook, you do not need to bring your Chromebook until the 15th. So you don't need to use a Chromebook those first 2 days. If you have it broken or damaged, though, bring that in. We'll turn it into the library so that it can quickly get repaired and get you a functioning Chromebook back again. New 7th and 8th graders, you will get a device on the 11th during your pathway time in the library. Care of device, parents, we could really use your support on this. Make sure your scholar charges it every night. I would highly recommend charging it in a common space so that it's not a Netflix device in the bedroom. And charge it fully, store it on a desk or table, never on the floor. Of course, protect it from heat and cold, food, drinks, small children, pets. You don't want your dog chewing on the Chromebook. And then whenever possible, shut it down when traveling. PTO, we have a new awesome PTO going on. Christy Donovan's our PTO president. We have 9 board members. They're doing all kinds of really awesome things, including at our 6th grade orientation. They'll be here with an espresso truck, connecting with parents. We're going to have parent engagement nights where we're going to have renowned authors and speakers coming in and connecting with our parents throughout the year. They're putting together a haunted hallway in either October or November, but all that more information will come out on that. But I highly encourage you, follow our PTO Facebook page, follow our quiz Facebook page, which I've been updating along with Melissa Dinky, our awesome secretary here, an office manager here in the school. And so get connected right off the bat. And if you have any questions, our big back to school night is on the 17th. It's from 5 to 7. Hope to connect with all of you. I'm going to connect with many of you, the 6th grade parents at 6th grade orientation. So you're able to come through the drop and go lane. You can go ahead and park. And then we'll have a quick intro. You can meet the 6th grade teachers and go that route. So I look forward to meeting each and every one of you. If you have any questions about the policies, please feel free to reach out as much as possible. Spread some good energy about Quist Middle School and the Royals. There's so many good and positive things that are coming up. And literally, we are going to be the best school in the entire country. So let's do this together.